What's up, guys? This is Skylar with Savage Truth 603. It's been a hot minute. My life took a little unexpected turn. Needed some time to get myself back on my feet. Here we are. So, I've been hearing a lot in the news about this toxic masculinity. And to be completely honest, it does not compute for me. What about masculinity is toxic? Nothing about masculinity should ever be toxic. If your masculinity includes holding people down that are less physically capable than you, if your masculinity includes being physically violent towards weaker people, if your masculinity includes any sort of bullying, that's not masculinity. That's weakness covered up by bullying. And to be completely honest with you, it's not masculinity that's responsible for the bullying in our society, it's the internet. People face no consequences for the things that they say or the things that they do online. They have no problems taking your profile pictures and making memes of your face. They have no problem making up lies about you and trying to change people's opinions about you. They have no problem spreading rumors because there's no consequences. These are the same people who, when you decide to do something about their actions, when you decide to show them there are consequences for their actions, these are the people who run to the cops. Masculinity is not the problem at all. The real issue is lack of masculinity. If we wanted to solve a lot of the issues in our society, we'd stop looking just at men and we'd start looking at the choices that our young people are making and having babies before they're ready and ending up with fatherless households. It's a statistical fact that men who are raised in fatherless homes are more likely to be suicidal, they're more likely to be depressed, they're more likely to be incarcerated, they're more likely to be violent, they're more likely to suffer from learning disabilities, they're more likely to be abusive, they're more likely to suffer from drug and alcohol addiction, and the list goes on. And that's well documented, but people don't want to talk about it because then they have to address the real problem. We need to fix the way that we look at relationships, and I don't know how we do that at this point, because we live in a throwaway society. We buy a car, we keep it for 10 years, and then when it starts to get old, we throw it away. And we do the same thing with relationships. The moment relationships stop being fun and you have to actually put work into them, people throw them away, and they move on to the next one. I'm a firm believer at this point that love is a temporary feeling. It's not an emotion, but it's a feeling. And that feeling is only subject to the next friend request or the next private message. We're an attention whore society. See, the problem with kids these days is they listen to everything they see in the media. They mold themselves after these internet sensations that are nothing more than a fat ass and fake cheekbones. The real heroes, the real people that should be admired, aren't even given a second look. People who are really trying to make a difference in society, the people who are trying to influence people. It's crazy. It's TV generation that we live in, and I'm not dumping on the YouTube stars, or as a matter of fact, specifically the gamers. I love gamers, man. My kids are gamers. We watch YouTube sometimes for hours. We watch other gamers. We watch all sorts of stuff. Love gamers. Games kept my kids off the streets. It's the swill, you know? It's the swill on TV and on the internet. The Kardashians and was there fucking Paris Hilton, idiot. People with too much money and no brains. But masculinity is a problem, right? You let your kids sit in front of the TV for hours watching these dumb shits do dumb shit, and then you wonder why your kids do dumb shit. Masculinity, right? Because masculinity would have them in the woods hunting and fishing. But instead, to sit home and watch reality TV. You want a dose of reality, get out of your living room. So how do we fix our society? We need to accept masculinity. We need to support masculinity. We need to encourage men to stay fathers to their children. We need to encourage young women to not get pregnant at a young age, and we need to encourage men to not impregnate women at a young age. We need to start valuing relationships and loving each other unconditionally. And when we say we're going to love somebody, it should be forever. That word is thrown around. These kids, everybody, oh, I love you, I love you. You're devaluing the word. You're devaluing what love actually is. And at this point, I think it's pretty much gone. Hey, come here. Come on, get up here. Come on. Good boy. Sit. 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 Well, you're right behind. You can't even see you on the camera. Look. Say hi. Sit. Can you sit? Sit. Sit. Good boy. Stay. So, to me, masculinity is about being a good man. It's about being honest. It's about being loyal. It's about sending flowers for no reason. It's about being a good role model for other young men. Going to work every day, paying your bills. My sons are a product of masculinity. I've tried very hard to raise them as quality individuals, people to be respected in the community, and they are. At 15 and 17 years old, they already have their careers picked out, and everybody who knows them will tell you that they're amazing young men. And that's because of masculinity. I'm a very masculine dude. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't be sensitive and be masculine. I'm one of the most sensitive guys that I know. But that's also part of being masculine. I'm very soft with my boys. I hug them and I kiss them all the time. I tell them how special they are. That's part of masculinity, is showing your soft side. I've cried in front of them before. They've seen my heart broken. It's not an easy part, but you have to show all your sides, not just the rugged ones, because nobody is void of feelings unless you're a sociopath. But it's nothing toxic about masculinity. If there was, women wouldn't be drawn to big, strong men. And the only thing that's changed that over the past 30, 40 years is society. Women have always been drawn to men who are strong in one form or another, whether it's successful, whether it's physically strong, whether they're mentally superior, smarter than most. Women are drawn to men who have distinct, strong characteristics of one form or another. And the reason is because strong characteristics are going to give you the best chance for strong offspring. And that comes from the days when we were living in caves, you know? Our brains still have those connections in them somewhere deep in our brain that want us to produce viable offspring. Masculine men provide the best chance at viable offspring. There's no way of getting around that. This is Skylar with Savage Truth 603. Find me on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Instagram, Savage Bennett 603. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Do your thing.